Hey Dave, just if you wouldn't mind, tell everyone who you are and what you do and where you do it.
Sure, my name is David Rooney. I work for Advanced Micro Devices. I'm over the thin client product line.
So thin clients are a big discussion here. Here we are at VMworld. Where do you see the state of it right now?
Yeah, I think thin clients is continuing to show a lot of growth in the interest of moving things from both on-prem to off-prem. In the thin client space, we see lots of issues around security and manageability, and thin clients, are a unique component to helping IT managers manage that infrastructure and complexity.
So we've been hearing three kind of overall and consistent messages here at VMworld around end user computing. So the first is security. And a lot of talk that iGel offers a really secure solution to its customers. Where do you see security in EUC, and where do you see iGel fitting there?
I think iGel has a great solution for security. I mean, oftentimes when deploying new devices into a very complex IT environment, having a unified management system to deploy and push new firmware out makes it very easy for IT managers to both administer and to react to security threats. And I think iGel's got a good position there.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that the good thing about iGel solution is there's not a lot of places to attack it.
The idea with having thin client is that you're limiting the exposure to doing something like a VDI session where it's a very secure access, and obviously iGel has a very nice set of features for VDI, and then also they have great products for Microsoft too. And again, the unified management system allows them to really manage the complexities of pushing new security updates and firmware out to the devices.
You just referred to or alluded to something else that is the second thing that a lot of people have talked about, which is the ease of deployment because it's hardware agnostic. A UDI solution can basically work on any machine, whether it's an old legacy machine or it's a Mac that you bought last week.
I think that's a unique value that iGel brings to the marketplace, is allowing companies to deploy maybe assets or computers that have maybe reached the end of life but are still great for the ability to tunnel or VDI in and get access all to the latest apps, whether it be cloud-based or even Microsoft apps.
Third subject is price. Price is an issue for everyone, especially in environments like we've talked to retailers and healthcare, where when you're in retail, you're working on thin margins. Healthcare, we all know about. You got people way out there on the edge. iGel solution seems to be ideal for them in terms of cost effectiveness.
It is. They've got a really nice product positioning, starting with sort of the entry level all the way up to a UD7 device, which has the ability to do 3 monitors. So they really have a nice offering for price sensitive markets to have access to VDI and even some local prem devices connected to it, and then all the way up to the flagship models that can support full Windows and full three monitor support. So really nice offering to sort of meet the end needs of really all of these different verticals.
So what's AMD's relationship with iGel?
Yeah, we have a really strong relationship with iGel. We've been working on technology for many years. We continue to do innovations around security, around display, around manageability. We're really excited by the partnership and the new announcement of the graphics that are in the Radiant graphics that are in the UD7.
You want to just tell us a little more about the graphic capability?
The UD7 is really kind of a flagship product. It's a remarkable performance. It includes both a RX APU, but it also includes a discrete graphics card, a Radeon discrete, and I think a lot of people are familiar with AMD on the gaming side and know its strengths in graphics cards, and iGel has implemented a UD7 device with a discrete graphics card, so it gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of performance, but also in terms of multi-monitors. This is a product that supports up to 4 monitors and can do 2 4K displays, so it's really a unique product for for certain segments of the market.
Dave, where are some of the verticals where you think this graphic power is going to be important?
So I think the first is media and entertainment, video production, editing. A lot of those types of verticals require, state-of-the-art graphics technology. I think healthcare and imaging is another one that's important. Medical images are now moving into 4K monitors, so it's important that we have, the clarity and crispness of something that is unique. And then the other is really on the CAD system side of it. Those verticals do require, really the leading edge of graphics to be able to do fluid dynamics, to be able to do sophisticated 3D designs. And so, those three markets really are unique for this class of product.
How does that work out at the edge? Just help me with that, because, as I see this, one of the issues you're dealing with, and I'll just name platforms if you don't mind me doing it, but you got people who are used to working on, say, a Mac,
right,
which is very graphically friendly, and anyone can run it. And you're helping take that with the iGel solution out to people as well, so that they're getting a user experience that's also robust, and it's at least on par with what they're used to. Is that right?
The graphics environment today, where we're doing video streaming, we're doing complex presentations, there's more and more pixels, if you will, that users are demanding. And so having a product that not only includes just a normal graphics card that's embedded in the CPU, but also having a discrete card that allows you to get even more performance and upscaling is really kind of a unique offering in the thin client market, because those devices are relatively small form factor boxes. They're not workstations, but to bring that kind of performance into a very small enclosure and a very powerful enclosure is something that I think is really quite unique in the market.
If I had asked you a couple of years ago to run the thin client business for AMD, that probably you would have had a few hours off every week. Where's the business today at AMD, the thin client business, and where do you see it going?
The thin client business is really healthy. I think overall we see the market continue to grow. We see demand in healthcare and finance, government and ed. More of these systems are becoming, I think, a go-to, as companies are really kind of torn with a model of having on-prem devices like Microsoft and all the apps with that come with it, and then also all the new hybrid things that are really SaaS based on software. So you're using Salesforce and you're using Workday, and so you want a device that has good connectivity to the web, but also allows you to get some productivity tasks done at your desks too. So from that perspective, we see a lot of opportunity in the thin client market, and continue to strengthen our relationship with iGel and work on products.
iGel's competing is, into some sense, the kind of the David against the Goliath of companies like HP and Dell.
Right.
Great companies. But where do you see iGel's unique position and ability to be able to do very well in this market, which you've told me that you think they are. I'm just curious as to where.
First off, I think working at AMD, we kind of know what that story feels like, David versus Goliath, because we compete against a Goliath in this market as well. And so the idea of being agile and being innovation focused and sort of cloud first, I think that's a great position that aligns with what we do at AMD and aligns well with iGel. I think iGel has a very good position in the marketplace with both the unified management system tool sets as well as the hardware capability. iGel's been innovating on the software side for many years as well, and I think the blend of what they do on the hardware side and as well as on software gives iGel a unique position in the marketplace.
Well, thanks for being with us today. Really
Thank you very much,
it.
Doug.
Thanks
Appreciate it.